And hello, welcome back to Karagor Studios Remnant Lunar Archon session 46. Oh, gonna be a good time. Hope you're here. Hope you're happy. We're doing pretty all right. Let's see who's going to give the recap for Sunday, the 7th of May, or 417 post Schism. Sam, you get to have a pass because you're new. Thicket can't talk right now. Thicket can't talk right now. Also, who is selected Maverick as their main character? That Doug. Is Doug controlling Maverick as his main character for some reason?
I think that was
no.
Maverick, but he shouldn't be my main character.
They're the owner. You may need to re-select it. Weird. Or maybe it's just showing both.
Doug still hasn't logged into the Matrix yet.
It's true. Doug is not within the Matrix. But I did figure out who gets to give the recap. How about you give us a recap, Chris?
So we flee to the next town shortly after leaving, our we'll say uprising, our political coup, and escorted some merchants, say bridge, and some trolls, and the trolls. The
Gnolls.
I don't remember anymore.
The Gnolls who collect trolls.
Gnolls.
Wait,
Gnolls
who connect tolls, not trolls.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Different thing.
Yeah. So, willing to be a little bit more reasonable with their request to keep the bridge safe. Spared them with a warning into town, and turned out that there was an issue with a young lady who was sleeping and unable to awaken, I suppose. And turns out it was the kid's sister of a former fiend turned friend turned questionable character. But anyway, she requested our help. We kind of went through a whole ritual where Garon was sent with her and the mom into, I guess, dreamy dreamland to try to rescue the girl. And there was a really awesome gross monster fight in there that was both terrifying and fun. And on the outside, everybody was keeping us safe so that it could actually be done. And had either side failed, it would have been horrendous. But thankfully, both sides were victorious. So, hooray for heroes. And now we are in the process of probably getting ready to wind down for the night. But probably also going to talk to see what's going on.
So y'all met the family of Yori, the Asakas, with her father Asaka Yugoro, her mother Asuka Yoko, who went into this nightmare world to go save Enri with you. Enri, the younger sister. As we ended off last session, everyone took a breath. Some healing was thrown around outside, as everyone kind of left the room to give whatever privacy or otherwise y'all are giving it to Enri and her parents, as y'all are all standing out in the rain next to the ranch, the farmhouse building that they have. Grim blood and regular person blood splattered across, a few dark remnants, but most of the grim, with the exception of a little bit of the black ichor like blood that they have. The grim have largely just dissipated, as they do. Anavo standing in the rains, it's sizzling off of him as it lands on his ashen skin. What would you all like to do?
Question.
Answer.
How much of the grim is remaining? Like, does all of it dissipate? Like, their heart
almost all of it. The
So,
only
like,
thing
even
that
like,
left is usually just an ichor on the ground. The skull, everything goes. It all just seems to dissipate into this black ash-like texture that flows off into the wind.
okay, so there's not like anything collectible.
No, unfortunately not. In fact, even in other times when you've seen grim masks, like people will sometimes make grim masks for celebrations, Halloween type stuff. They make them out of stuff because grim don't leave behind the mask. Like where the mantis grim that had been torn apart by Anavo, even after it had been torn apart, the head and arm that had been separated from the body also disintegrated just like the body did. Nothing stayed.
Grund will, if assuming, I think Yori is still with us and not with the family, then I'll talk to her. But if she did go, then
You
Grun's
saw
just gonna try
her.
to look everyone over and make sure that they're okay.
A couple of
I,
minutes would have passed.
I fixed my microphone.
Nice. A couple of minutes
I-
would have passed. You would have seen Yori go inside, and if you peeked in, you would have seen her gathering up the different candles and things that she'd brought, the different elements of this ritual, at which point she has come back outside.
I
And
was
seems to be
gonna
walking.
tell I was gonna tell Jack you can't show more children severed heads.
Even if they're grim heads, Jack, you can't show more severed heads.
That's debatable in the Orange Sun, but I did remember that from last time. I was mostly just curious as to what I could make from these grim remainings, but they seem to dissipate before. They don't. Anyway, they seem not to be made from like solid material that doesn't disintegrate.
Yep.
So no
Nothing's-
grim soup.
No grim soup. Asuka is not in a hurry, but she is walking off toward the road, back toward town. You all see Maverick come around the corner after a couple of minutes. Everything seems to be fine. That went really well, guys.
Doug just kind of looks at me.
Yes, I suppose it did. It could have gone worse.
I almost died.
Gibbet's like, speak for yourself, dude.
Oh. I mean, y'all seem okay.
Doug looks at Thicket and is like, for future reference, maybe maybe I should have a few little good berries just in case something happens like this again, because I don't have another potion.
That's a good idea.
Head over
What are you
to
giving or
Yori
changing hands?
before she leaves. Oh,
Sorry, what was that? You're changing hands, Jack and Maury?
I don't currently have good berries at the moment.
Ah.
Doug was just suggesting of like, maybe we should create some before a long rest, if possible, just in case.
They last
Do you want me to
24
make
hours.
some now?
I mean, I don't know if anything will come between now and the next time we're able to make some. Do they expire?
They last about 24 hours.
Oh. Well, it might be a good practice, like before we like turn in for the night, just to make some in case. And then I'll just, sleep with some on, and then if they expire, then that's good. We didn't need them.
Garand, you are able to pretty quickly catch up because she's not walking particularly fast as Yori's walking away now, 50 feet away from the house at this point. As you reach her. Sorry, what was that? I couldn't quite hear you. What was that?
Like someone else was talking. So do you mean me?
Yeah, if you said something, I couldn't hear what it was.
Talking a second ago. So. Okay. Is that the sort of thing that happens a lot? Should we be on the lookout for something like that?
For nightmares? There's a bit to tell you. Let's get back to the tavern. We can sit down. I'm hungry. And I'll tell you all about them, or at least what I know. There's something to be prepared for. Though they're not the most common.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna let them know where I'm going and.
Yeah, bring them along. If they want to stay, they can. I let my mother know that they may want to spend the night inside the walls, given the damage to the house, but that there shouldn't be any Grim approaching immediately.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm all for them doing what they want to do, but yeah, certainly, I think it's imperative that at least you give me a little bit of an education, to say the least.
Of course.
Ron will go back and explain that she's heading back to the tavern, but he's going to stick with her so that he can learn as much as possible about this whole thing. And of course, anybody who's wanting to come should, you know.
Will there
Who's
be
going?
food?
Mori asked if there will be food.
I assume so. It's a tavern. I hadn't arranged anything, but I will happily buy you food if you are feeling peckish, and it's not a problem.
All right, then let's go.
All right. Is anyone choosing to stay at the house or do
mean-
something other than go to... Like, is everyone going to the tavern? What are y'all choosing to do?
At that point,
Gambit says tavern.
All right, Gambit's Tavern. Jack is muted. But he texted and said tavern. All right, so it sounds like everyone is looking to tavern. You will hear a voice kind of above you, thicket. Mission to hunt comes out of Anavo's form in Primordial.
What are you going to hunt?
Grim.
Yeah, go for it.
And with what you imagine to be a smile but can't make out, Anavo begins to lurk into the night. A slight glow coming from the trees for a few hundred yards. As you all return to the tavern, you get back to the walls of this of the town. It's not a long walk as you'd found before. A fairly quiet one. At this point, being somewhat rainy and muddy, which it actually had already been by the time you left, but being more so now. A quick but wet walk as you eventually make it back to the fork, the inn on the fork in the river. That you see lights are on inside, even though it is now closer to 9:30. You can still hear voices talking from inside. And as you go in, you feel the fairly jovial talk. A few people, a little bit of an edge as some look over to you and see the adventurers returning, and you see Yori gets quite a few stares, but she largely ignores them as she goes to one of the open tables, as there are a couple sitting down. beginning to string out her kimono a bit, trying to remove some of the water. As y'all take a table relatively close to the fire, seemingly wanting to warm up. What are y'all choosing to do? That's what she's doing. She's immediately going to a table and seemingly expecting someone to wait on y'all at some point.
Dickett hops up right next to her and is
Yeah, Garon's
also
staying with her.
patiently waiting.
Yeah. As y'all sit down, after a couple of minutes, a waiter, fairly young man, eventually comes over and will take y'all's order. If there's anything in particular y'all want to mention. Asuka gets fish grilled. Because I've decided now that she did. But y'all are easily able to order food, whatever drinks y'all choose. As tavern quiets down, eventually she looks to you all. So, is that a new Grim for you?
Didn't know that they're even more menacing than simply physical appearance.
Image and size doesn't always show danger. As she reaches into the bag and pulls out the tiny jar that's maybe 5-6 inches tall and a couple inches in diameter. And she shakes it around lightly, and you hear ding 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 inside of this clay jar. And some of them are also more difficult to kill than others. Now this one, it's called a nightmare. Not necessarily something you'll get used to. As Garon asked, they are not terribly common. Occasionally, when they do show up, they can be quite lethal. As much as we know about them, their name implies, they're able to temporarily possess a creature of sorts, sending them into an unconscious state, during which they drain away their aura. Usually, they tend to target creatures that have more traumatic histories, darker memories, strong emotions, things that it can invoke and feed on, as it seems to use emotions to invoke the aura to pull it from people, often forcing its victims to relive harsh moments in their lives, or at least whatever drives them to the most negativity. That particular ritual I did, I can teach you if you need the knowledge. It does take some particular materials. You'll need a dreamcatcher like my own with a very minor, not quite enchantment, but ritualized use to it, to enter into dreams. But if you don't come upon them very often, it may not be necessary. If you want to have something as a backup, I can help you find the things. Yeah, they probably won't come up terribly often, but they're rather difficult when they do. Usually a victim has a couple of days at most before they succumb. You did well in there, Grant. It was a young one, but still very dangerous.
Yeah, the fact that it can be more challenging is worrisome. I think that's reason enough to want to be able to do this. So if it can be done relatively quickly, then provided we have the time, well, we have to make sure with the merchants, of course. And then I don't know what the rest of the party would like, but learning that could be absolutely life-changing. So obviously, right? We saved your little sister's life, so I can't see it not being useful.
All right. I could potentially teach you the basics in a couple of hours tonight. Some practice would likely be in order. And then I can give you a list of materials. I do have to get back to Vacuo relatively quickly. This was a sudden call. We received a message from a mage we didn't recognize that I actually need to check in a few minutes and see if he's still in this tavern. That let us know that it was happening, and I was teleported here. But I unfortunately can't teleport myself, so I'll be getting probably a boat and then a horse.
What does teleportation feel like?
You know how sometimes when you sleep, you close your eyes and then it feels like you immediately open them and everything's different light or different person in the room, or such as if you're taking a nap somewhere, or the temperature's different. How it's almost like there's a shift, sudden blink and it's changed.
No.
Well, then I guess I don't know how to describe it. It's very, depending on the type of teleportation, a lot of it's one moment you're there, one moment you're not. The teleportation that I was sent by has lots of flashing lights that lead up to the moment. There's usually a rush of warmth in my experience, though that might just be my master's teleportation style. And then poof, you blink and you're there.
That's very cool.
It's interesting. I don't expect I'll be able to do it any day, but it's very neat to have experienced it. Not a lot of people get to. So where are you all headed? I guess I'm not really surprised to see you here, but last time I saw you, you were in Schist. Around that time...
Quite a bit of work to take care of things in the region.
As you say that, and about that time, highest perceptions, I believe, is Gambit. Though he's not necessarily stealthing by any means. But the first to notice would, of course, be Thicket, as he always is the first to notice. And then Gambit, a moment later. You see this older man. And as you look at him, let me grab the image. As you do see this older man approaching the table. He has what you assume was once very black hair that has been a bit grayed. Same with his beard, has gotten lots of white into it. Fairly simple but colorful clothing, a pack on his back, as well as this lute. As you see, he has these sharply pointed ears, two slightly glowing in the darkness blue eyes. His skin is this grayish color that Thicket you notice in the firelight. It seems to almost sparkle with the reflection of the firelight in the room.
Vampire.
So
I had the same thought!
I am going to share.
This is the
This
skin of a
image.
killer, Bella.
I know what
Ooh,
you are.
Cool. Say
you
it
see?
out loud.
As you see, this older man meander up to the table, relatively kind of with your insight, Thicket, kind of like he's trying to be casual, but curious. What would you like to say or do, John?
I heard that some adventurers were in town, and I am somewhat of an adventurer myself over the past while, and I was hoping that I may join you on your adventures.
As you all look up to this assumptuous but unassuming looking man step up.
Can you do magic?
I know enough to be dangerous.
What can you do?
You may just have to wait and find out.
I can
Well,
make things out of ice and water.
I think you should, like, I don't know, buy us dinner first or something before you go into let's adventure together. Not that I immediately have like no you shouldn't, but like
I think that can be
yeah,
arranged.
okay.
Bartender, can you get us around?
Ooh.
The bartender nods and begins bringing some drinks over.
So what
The
you
kid
got
is
you into
very
adventuring?
confused as to why it's not round.
I used to be a smith in Coral, and I sort of got bored of the monotony of my life, and I wanted to see the world.
Uh,
Sorry, before he showed up, what was your question, Garand?
Forgotten.
Yeah.
It's I'm to be honest, I'm surprised that there's even a bit of hesitation or reservation. It seems I'm the only one that ever has that, and now someone else does. So that's something, I suppose.
I think it
Thank you
just
for
wants to
the
see if he
kindness and
has party
generosity.
tricks.
Who are you and why do you want to join us? Maverick
It's
pipes
just
up.
funny because
Oh wait, you just said that, didn't you? Well, who are you?
I'm John. I attended a bardic college in Coral, so I know a few tricks.
ooh.
Hey, Garon, you should play with him.
Duet.
I suppose we could. I don't want to waste time, but I suppose we might have time for one song. If you'd like, we could see about taking the stage.
Yeah, we could sing a tune. Why not?
All right, y'all go up and do y'all like ask the bartender first, or do you just go up and start playing? As both of you pull out lutes.
Well, I
Or
don't
do you
forget,
pull out your
I also
violin?
have my violin.
It's true. Do you pull out your
I'm gonna
violin or your lute?
Pull out my violin. If I see a lute on him, why would it?
Why would you bring this in?
Yeah,
an
I mean,
instrument?
unless he
Alright.
wants to do like the old
Lute
dueling,
off.
right? Unless he wants to do dueling lutes, and we're doing like, but like, I don't know that we have that camaraderie and that bond just yet. So I would have definitely been all like, "Here's my violin."
All right.
Yeah, maybe not dueling lutes yet.
As y'all begin to play, Asuka looks over. I remember now. You mentioned y'all had work in the region. What sort of business do you doing?
Sorry, was he talking to me?
If she's asking you're on,
She's asking kind of the table / Garand if y'all hear as y'all leave and go play. What are you doing in the region?
So we've just been trying to right wrongs, save the day, that sort of thing. The hero bit. I'm sure that Thicket and Gambit can fill you in. They've
I bought a snow
Thicket of
globe.
it.
What's a snow globe?
Thicket
So
pulls
just
it
want to
out
talk
and
about snow
shakes
globes
it.
or milk or something.
Oh,
It's sparkly, and it glows.
let's see. She looks at it. Oh, speaking of milk, where's Cedar?
Oh, she had some business elsewhere.
Oh, that's a shame.
It is a shame. We miss her a lot.
I hope wherever she went had much milk.
Mm-hmm.
I need a performance check from
Wherever
the
she
two
goes, there's much
bards.
milk.
She does have infinite milk, it's true. Which John, one of the previous player, had gotten a customized decanter of endless water that is a decanter of endless milk. Wherever she's gone, there's milk. I do need the two bards to both give me performance checks. Which also, I guess I'd forgotten that. John, we are using a sort of a variant of the inspiration system that we call hero points. You can have up to 3 at a time. You get one at the start of every session, as well as when you get a critical success, which I've gone ahead and thrown you an inspiration on your sheet at the top next to your name. You can expend a hero point to add a d4 to a roll. So, like, roll a d4 and add the result, as Garon just did with his 3, to bring his total, despite a nat 1, which I think technically you can't nat 1 on skill checks, so he still did okay, to get him up to a 15. Which, as you all see, with a rather jovial playing, you're kind of surprised with whatever college that John went to, whether it was magic or musical. He may not have taken so well to the musical side of things, because while he's doing just fine with his own natural capabilities and he knows how to play, he's proficient. The techniques that you see, which actually y'all won't be able to tell as much because y'all don't know how to play, but Garand, you'd be able to notice. His technique is off in a few places. He doesn't have the same quality of skill, you might say, as you do with your time spent playing your various instruments and performing. AKA, you have expertise, and he does not have proficiency in performance.
Skill diff.
Very big skill difference here. But you both played quite well. Which one's better?
I said
tonight.
He sounds better.
Yeah, for some reason John played a bit better tonight. Which actually would in part be because as you're going, you find you can't get one of your strings to tune quite right, Garand. Don't know what it is. You change it one way and it goes too far. You change it the other and it goes too far. It just won't play quite right, quite the way you want to, and it makes you sound just a little bit off.
It's the humidity.
Maybe it is raining. It's a little cooler in this area. You're not in the desert anymore.
In the desert.
Not in the desert anymore, Toto.
Sure, blame the tool, not the operator.
Sounds like we're gonna have eventually a loot off at this rate. But as they play,
No. For RP purposes, and Thicket may be able to pick up on this because Thicket has insight, but effectively, this is actually the first time that I've played violin since that one sad song. Yeah, so remember, this is only like the second real time I've fully played it through, other than just testing it.
It's true. And it's been a couple weeks.
The focus is to see this guy. So
not paying as much attention.
So I'm using my second. It's not my primary instrument. I haven't done it often, and I'm focusing somewhere else. So I have no problems with the fact that he sounds better than me right now. Like I said, at 15 is fantastic. So, even though I, whatever was
Oh
having
yeah, you're both playing
an
well
off night or
above
whatever.
average.
I'm not
Even Garand on an off night still is a
worried.
high quality performer. Which, since you're not playing for that
So,
long, and you're in a fairly light town, y'all end up together receiving 6 silver pieces and 5 copper pieces. Distribute them between you two how you would like.
I don't pick up any of them, so I don't know how you want to like RP that, but I don't start picking up any of the money.
I think I'll
I play his character, so I don't want to.
What was that?
Oh, I said I just like I don't want to play your character, you know what I mean? So I'm just like, you just notice that Duran's not picking up any of the money. He looks like he's packing away. Like he looks like he's nodding towards you, like, hey, not bad. You got some skill, kind of thing. Good job, like I mean, he doesn't say like, wow, that was fantastic, but
Gives a nod of respect.
hey, yeah, right, that kind of thing.
I'll nod back. I recognize equal talent.
All right. Does John take the money?
I think I mean, if they're throwing it up on the stage and Garon's not going to grab it, I probably will.
All right, I'll go ahead and add those to your sheet. Those of you at the table, Asuka looks over. What good deeds have you been up to that you've been doing in the region?
Like in Chist or here?
What?
I don't know. Garan said y'all were up to
That's
stuff.
the new guy.
We stage a coup.
This is me. Here, see.
A coup?
Yeah. Turns out, dude, ruling Schist was, planning on, doing a coup of his own, so we, couped him.
So Xander?
Yeah,
Oh, you killed
he
him?
dead now.
Oh
Oh,
my.
yeah. How's the door now?
Goodness. Heard he was pretty powerful.
Yeah,
Y'all kill him
it was
personally?
rough. What?
Y'all killed him personally?
Yeah.
Do you doubt us?
No, I'm just impressed.
So, last we knew, I think there was a, election between Oscar and Rosanna and this dude named Bale.
Who's Oscar and Bale? I met General Rosanna at one point. Don't know the other guys.
Bale was, leading a revolution against Xander.
Oh.
And,
Oscar was a magistrate.
yeah, that's the word. Magistrate. So, I don't know. They
Is that
passed
like
the vibe
a
check, so
captain?
I
Has
don't
it
know.
been?
He's like a governor, kind of like a little bit over governor. I don't know, like he's not the
does
guy who
law
runs the
things.
place, but he runs a lot of the place. He runs a good section of the city. So,
Interesting.
and he was very skilled and just all around cool dude. And Rosanna trusted him, and so yeah, I think the city would be in good hands if any of or all of them decide to rule.
Huh. I wonder who's going to end up taking the lead.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'll have to ask my
DM.
master his opinion when I get home.
DM, I forget
yes.
if we successfully erased that guy from the dead.
You did successfully raise Persilith.
Okay.
What's his last name?
We
Continue.
raised someone from the dead.
Oh, that's expensive.
Oh, whoa. Yeah. I mean, we didn't personally, but we helped the priest do it.
I helped.
Yeah. Yeah, I
See.
mean, Thicket was pretty integral.
I can imagine so. Ursulith
Pretty-
Yesfiend.
Pretty soon, I think it will be raising people from the dead on his lonesome.
Oh, is that something you can do?
No.
I don't know.
Oh.
Not now, but I have faith that in the future they will be.
Well, that's a rather dangerous maneuver. It doesn't always work. But
Mm-hmm.
it's nice to have someone that can in an adventuring group.
Yeah.
So
Are
is
you
this
gonna teach
person...
us magic?
I can teach you the basics of the ritual. It does require an ability of spellcasting, so for those of you that don't know as much magic, as she looks over to Gambit and Doug, I don't know that you'd have an easy time doing it, but those of you that know magic can learn the basics. It's,
Doug-
Sorry, continue.
Doug just kind of grabs his weapon, and just out of nowhere, you see this guardian appear, and Doug just kind of like scoffs a bit, like, I've been learning.
What kind of guardian? Like the orange sun?
No, the one that is stationary that, goes away after dealing so much damage. The Guardian of Fate.
Oh, you're casting Guardian of Faith in here.
Just at the door, and then Doug just kind of taps.
Just casually.
So
Yeah.
as John, you would see this guy Doug, this
Very Doug thing to do.
this faunus with these lizard-like features, casually pulls out this fairly beautiful short sword that has the handle and the back side of it are made of this fine silver material, and the pommel and the blade are both made of this translucent yellow chrysolite, this gemstone, that as he casually pulls it up, he cuts through the air, and as he does so, there is a glowing beam, you could say, this probably a full meter long, 3 feet or so, a yard, however you want to say it, line of light that floats over rather quickly to the doorway. Actually, when he cuts, it would appear right in the doorway where he intends it. But as it does, it actually continues to glow and grow a little bit to where the point where the entire inn is in a slight, not uproar, but surprise as they're all turning as this heavily glowing, almost like a doorway or pillar of light, is shining where the doorway should be. And that goes on for... How long does that last?
I think it's for 8 hours.
Oh, what?
Are you choosing to dispel it, or are you going to leave the beam of light there?
I don't think I can dispel it.
Blinded by the light.
All right, Guardian of Faith.
I mean, at least we can long rest in somewhat peace.
It's Jesus.
It's the
It's just there
tavern.
now. There's no
Oh,
use a
boy.
bonus action to get rid of it. There is just this glowing light.
Can you
That's,
even move it?
Nope, it's there. It's not a spell that y'all had seen Selxander use. This one is Guardian of Faith. It is a... Oh, actually, it would also have, just a fun note, the center of the beam of light is made up of a yellow flaming sword with a shield over its handle.
Yep.
Oh.
That has a symbol of Aether on it. So thankfully, people would be able to note that it has a symbol of Aether on it. But yeah, any creature that is hostile to you that goes within 10 feet of the Guardian must make a dex save or take 20 radiant damage or half as much on a success. Disappears if it deals 60 damage. Let's hope no one in here is
No one punched Doug.
currently hostile to you, as several of the people
Oh.
of the town look over to you, kind of in fear.
Yeah, I hope we don't get kicked out for this. We can't get kicked out from another tavern.
Oh my. I guess you weren't lying that you can do some magic.
It's a recent development, but you gotta give me some credit.
Is that gonna hurt people? Is that safe?
It depends on their intent.
Let me see if Thicket
What?
has Dispel Magic.
I don't 100% know, being that this is the first time I've seen it myself. But
Oh,
I don't. I mean, And-
Nope.
if shrugs his shoulders because he's just like, I don't know. But it's
after
okay.
a few moments, as y'all are being watched, this halfling woman, fairly short, probably 3'4", long brown curly hair comes up. The same woman that seemed had been running behind the bar comes up. What are you doing? What is this?
It's glowy.
Well, yes, but what is it? Is it dangerous?
It's not dangerous. Gambit runs through it and then comes back in.
Gambit steps up and moves through the glowing sword, unharmed. People breathe a sigh of relief as they see. The halfling turns over. Have no fear. It shouldn't hurt you. If you're concerned, you can leave through the side door whenever you go. Looks back. No more displays of magic, or I will kick you out.
Can
Yes,
I
ma'am.
still keep my snow globe?
I don't care about the snow globe.
Okay.
Don't scare my people. She shakes her head, walking back over to the bar, as people are still quite tense in the room, but are leaving you alone.
Doug is just oblivious to the tense atmosphere. But
Yeah, I'm
he
sure he is.
But he gets the point that, like, maybe I didn't do something, like, or maybe I shouldn't have done that.
Hey, he's learning.
But, like, he doesn't understand the tension. He just knows people are reacting.
That tracks. That tracks. But yes, if y'all would like, we can. Well, I guess I should get a room and then walk the spellcasters through how to perform this ritual.
Oh, wait, Yori.
Yes.
The last time we had met, you were looking for a way to resolve your demon issue.
I have. Or I have been looking, rather. That is correct.
I don't remember. Did you ever tell us how that came about in the first place? Because it seems like there's
Nope.
between your family.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it's not much of an open. Or I guess it's an open secret as she gestures to the bar. I don't mind saying it here. Most people in here, if they've been here more than a few years, know who I am and have an idea of what happened. It's simply, I was cursed when I was born. We don't know by what or how, but some variant, some weird version of a type of Grimm known as a Geist entered me when I was a child. They're actually, well, my master says it might have been more closer to a chill, a different kind of Grimm, as Geists mostly. It's not important. Geists normally do inanimate objects, and chill do living objects, but that's not the point. Um, it is a... As she taps on the mask on her shoulder, this isn't a prop. The Grim that entered me... It was supposed to kill me within a day, maybe 2, of when it started. But it didn't. And we don't know why. I don't know why. My master doesn't know why. My body reacted in an abnormal way as she taps her horns, giving me features similar to that of a tiefling. And then it made me try to kill people.
Have you tried asking it nicely to go away?
Yeah, he has no interest in that.
Okay.
I have, don't worry.
You said it's a Grim?
It is. Technically,
So it's...
I'm part Grim at this point. It's hard to tell.
So is it like 100% evil and...
Considering it's usually whispering in my ear violence, yes. I'm gonna go with yes.
Okay.
He's not terribly
So
nice.
it's not something that you can conquer with friendship.
I wish. I mean, I guess I technically haven't tried that, but yeah, I doubt it.
Do you have a are you able to sense other Grim or have a sense of communication?
Any element of communication that he has seems to have been cut off whenever he entered me. So I can't necessarily sense Grim in the way that, or humans in the way that Grim can. It does come with some abilities. The ability to absorb energy like I did. He nods over to Gambit when I took some of yours to actually become more human-like when we were in the warehouse. Yeah, and then, it makes you try to, when you go a little crazy, almost kill your mom, it tends to get you banished. Stuff like that. So, yeah, here I
am. Geist.
Yeah, Geist.
Hey, Gambit, you remember when we were around those portraits?
Oh, yeah! Oh, yeah!
Do you think that's similar to maybe what's going on here?
Probably. I bet you're right. It's interesting to me that this Grim has a personality because... yeah, all the other Grim that we fought are just crazy. I mean, they're just empty and seem like they're following some sort of a protocol.
He didn't have a personality for a long time. He actually still hasn't decided on her name. I've tried to give him one, but he won't. He doesn't like it.
Jim.
Yeah, he doesn't like that. He wants me...
What about Grumpy?
I have called him that before. My master's current theory is that he actually gained personality when whatever part of him fused with me.
Oh.
That being connected to a human... Well, I was human. I was human.
You still are human. You're human enough.
I'm more like a tiefling, but sure.
So what did you lose or gain in a Grim-like manner?
Well, I can steal energy like I did with you. She nods. Or other creatures, such as Grim, like I had earlier. Can borrow their essence. I can give into the bloodlust a little bit. Kind of make their power my own. That seems to be the main thing he's given. He's also enhanced my natural, or I guess unnatural tiefling magic. The spear I threw at you, stuff like that, isn't quite normal for a tiefling. As John, you are hearing all this just be thrown across the table of possession and tieflings, whatever this girl's master is, which I guess I should share the image of Asuka to you, just so you have an idea of what she looks like, in case you didn't know before.
I want to see her character art again.
Okay, I'll share it to everyone then.
And
She
then I
looks
guess
like this, but the obviously no purple floating masks around her, and the mask on her left shoulder is white with the red markings that would be indicative of a Grim.
Yuri, I don't know if you know who Vladimir? No, not Vladimir. What's the name of the two people that gave us our first mission? Reverend. Does it start with a U? Richard something. Anyway, Yuri, you should go to said town and see if they can help, because those portraits had guys of some sort, and they were able to get rid of them.
Interesting. Which town is this?
This was in... Where's the map? Was it in Keenite?
The thing you were talking about wasn't Kina, yes.
It's in Keenite.
Oh, are you talking about the Lord and his priest friend?
Yeah, just go to the church and tell them that the messengers sent you, and maybe they can help.
Does he have any kind of special magic? Because if it's just a remove curse spell, I don't know that would be any more than what's happened before.
He can turn into an owl.
The priest? Or the
No.
Lord?
The Lord.
Oh. I don't remember that Lord's name. Sorry.
Is it?
I think it starts with a U.
Is it?
It does start with you. It is Uldrathel.
Okay, I was so worried that I was gonna confuse it with a Merlin character.
No, it's not Uther, the king of Camelot. It is Uldrathel.
I was thinking of the first boss, I guess you could say, that we fought, but that starts with a B.
Bosk.
Yeah, Bosk.
Y'all killed Bosk.
Shadow demon thing, and
Um,
to help her to
So
destroy her and take her over, but she
she looks over.
internally, like in her mind and her heart and stuff.
Yeah, it's an open
So we're
secret.
actually
I mean,
right now.
I'm not terribly welcome in the town, given all of that.
The
But they
druid
tolerate me
and run-
whenever I need
Yeah,
to come
okay.
here.
Fucking talking cat. No, this is Asuka Hiyori.
Do you know anything about
I will look into Keenite, though. Thanks for the offer. I don't know if it'll help, but I might as well give it a shot.
wait,
Hey, you never know till you ask.
This is true. Unfortunately, he's not as easy to leave as most curses I've met. We even tried doing the ritual for a nightmare. Didn't do anything.
Are you sure it's a curse? Maybe you're going about it wrong.
It's possible. Do you have any other ideas?
Have
Demon
you? Do you
possession.
know any? Do you know anyone who researches like Grim and like what they are?
I have a few friends at the college that do.
Okay, because I feel like I mean your situation is awful and sounds like it is extremely difficult to live your day to day. But also, it seems like you and your relationship with your Grim would be a very good starting off point to research, like what Grim are and why they are the way that they are.
Yeah, I've had a few options. I've been offered to, well, I've had pay offered to me just to be a lab rat, as it were. Occasionally, I let them take looks at me, but I don't like being kept down. I prefer to actively search for an answer.
It's true.
And I keep occasionally I hear like the object, the amulet back in Chist that I had found that was supposed to be a divine artifact that I thought maybe would have some effect because of its nature, but unfortunately nothing. Just a regular remove curse spell.
We could put you to sleep forever. I don't know if
That
would
sounds
help.
sounds like a worse deal.
Yeah, I don't know why I offered that. It was
Also,
just
how
trying
could you do that?
Don't ask. Actually, you can't ask. Rosanna gave it to us.
Does the like what's his name? I forgot. It starts with a G. Her thing.
The Grim?
Yes, not Grim that I was looking for, the actual word for it.
Was it a chill or something like that?
Geist or chill. They are.
Okay.
If y'all want to roll religion checks to figure out more or see if you know more about them, you can. But she said that they are Grims that possess things, Geist possess objects, chills possess people.
Does the Geist have a mouth that it can eat things with?
One moment, let Micah pull up a picture of a Geist so he can check.
I just rolled a nat 20 on religion.
Oh, you know all about Geists and chills, man. They were definitely a thing. Geists do not have mouths. They have masks just like every other Grim. They don't even have multiple eyes. They have one single glowing yellow eye in the middle of the mask. They fly around. They have wraith-like bodies that are almost like a dark cloak that flies around with the mask on the inside of the cloak of the hood. Oh yeah, because you get a nat 20, you get an extra inspiration hero point. If you want to mark that on your sheet, it's up by your name. In Gambit, you would know pretty well as well that they're known to possess objects. They are violent, like all Grim are. Depending on the objects they possess, they can be quite powerful or quite weak. They're often known to possess large trees or rock formations and bind them together into this large golem-like body. They're notoriously difficult to kill because they often can escape from a body and just leave and try to escape before going into another thing. And they seem to have, effectively, in D&D terms, separate hit points between the golem body they possess and their actual form. So they're annoying to kill. They're pretty strong. Thankfully, they're not terribly common. I mean, they happen, but they're not nearly as common as things like Beowulfs that you'd fought.
Would Gambit from that role know whether or not the paintings were Geists or not, or just cursed?
You would know that those were haunted paintings with regular ghosts.
Regular ghosts.
Those were regular ghosts that you had fought. Specters, if I remember correctly, but...
Oh, yeah, that's right.
They were...
very necrotic.
Yeah, but they were not Grim.
Gambit remembers
if they had been a Geist...
rain from him.
Yeah, if they had been a Geist, they would not have left the painting. They would have found a way to use the painting to attack you.
That's true.
Chills.
And these guys are nasty.
Oh, did you look up a picture of a Geist?
Huh? No, just from your description.
Oh yeah,
use the painting to kill you. That's playing dirty.
Oh yeah, Grim are not nice. Geists in particular. Chills are also terrible. They're even rarer. Most stories that you've heard about them are from secondhand sources. No one's ever seen what they actually look like. As the stories go, they often reside in woods or hidden areas and will latch on to a person, um, drain the life from them fairly quickly, and then pilot their body to another person and then swap over and do the same thing. And so there have been cases of small villages having been found where everyone is just dead, like they decayed in their beds. Occasional stories of people being killed with chills in them, but the chill does not leave. It just, whether it died or not, the person stayed with this very pale skin and these black and red marks all over their skin, similar to the lines Grimm have on their masks.
So you're saying we can't feed it a potion?
Correct.
Okay.
It seems the closest thing Asuka's Grimm has to a physical form is the mask on her shoulder.
And I assume that you've tried to destroy the mask and it hasn't worked.
Yep, invulnerable. Even disintegrate hasn't had any effect, unfortunately. My master tried.
Your master is strong.
Yeah, he's pretty cool.
Who is he? Or they?
He's a guy named Simeon. He works in Vacuo. I'll introduce him sometime. I would
don't
like
know if I want to.
original party members Thicket, Doug, and Garand to make intelligence checks.
Is this gonna get the half bonus?
Yeah, this can get your bardic half bonus.
Thicket is surprisingly smart for once.
Yeah, both you and Garand. It's on the tip of your tongue. It sounds familiar. You swear you've heard it before, but you're not sure where from.
Heard what?
The name Simeon.
From her.
I don't remember if she said it at Schist, but other than that, you
notes.
have. It may be.
On the rare occasion I took notes.
Yeah, I mean, if it is, then cool. You would have heard it from her. She might have said to ask for Simeon and Vacuo. But other than that, you've heard it somewhere and you're not sure, and you can't remember quite where. Even with a total of 20 Garand, it's not quite high enough to figure out exactly where you've heard it before. But you have heard the name before.
Oh wait, didn't Sylvia mention him?
Sylvia did not.
But she went to Vacuo, correct?
Yeah, she has specified that she works for the Hain Institute in Vacuo.
Oh.
The person connected with our friend had to leave from health issues.
Moretta, the party member. Yeah, you had heard her mention her own teacher named Simeon at one point.
Then we might as well ask if Yori, if anything, knows Moretta, and if Moretta, whatever, and is Moretta looking for you to try to help you?
She kind of gives you a look as you begin to talk about Moretta. She is not, as far as I'm aware.
You seem upset.
Her and I have never met, but I've heard Simeon talk about her quite a few times. A star pupil.
Insight check.
Make an insight check.
I would like to make one as well.
Make an insight check.
Has no reason to think anything.
Mm-hmm.
Let me make a deception check on her part. See how well she hides it. Oddly, Doug is the one that picks up on this.
What? Doug is full of surprises today.
He
I'm
is,
here for
apparently. You
He's-
detect an odd hint of jealousy. However, Doug understands jealousy. That's a slight feeling you get from her.
So,
The others, you would get a general feeling of dislike, but not in particular reason why.
like Doug might not necessarily like understand fully like emotions and things or like how social interactions work, but he's been listening as they've been traveling. And instead of like focusing on people's, I guess, demeanors or like their, I guess the way which they interact in a sense, he's focused more on like, I guess, audio cues. And he just notices there's a slight change in her speech pattern when the name is mentioned, but he can't quite detect its jealousy.
All right.
Thicket, noticing that she's not in the happiest mood at the mention of Moretta, will continue to ask with full seriousness. Were you guys best friends?
No, we've never met in person. So
Doug
I guess in person isn't the right word. We've never met.
Doug will just notice, it's like, when the name Moretta is mentioned, like, you seem to talk a
Poor
bit
girl.
differently.
it.
Do you just have a hard time saying the word Moretta, or like?
No, I just don't like her.
Oh, well, why didn't you just say that?
Because you didn't ask.
Why don't you like her?
I'd rather not say. No reason to speak ill of people that you have no reason to connect to. Besides, it's not like it's anything rational. We've never met. I have no reason to properly dislike her.
Well, that's
Right,
dumb.
so let's move along to you teaching me how to
Yes, ritual.
rescue people possessed by a nightmare.
Yes, let's.
Because even though Garon doesn't really understand wisdom, he does have the intellect to be like, this is not planning out right. This is
She
an
is.
awkward social situation. And my charisma is just like, nope.
Yeah, she clearly doesn't want to talk about this thing.
Thicket
Which is so
under his
odd.
breath is just confused, being like, why would you dislike someone for no reason?
Which Garon would pick up. Slightly odd that she's perfectly fine talking about childhood trauma and being possessed by a fiend, but when it comes to this other girl, nope. Yeah, over the okay, so are y'all getting multiple rooms? And is John going to try to stay with y'all, or is John going to get his own room?
Well, no one ever answered my question if I could
We only have one
stay
lady.
with y'all.
I guess Doug will do what he did with Gambit, and he will offer John to stick with him for the time being.
I'll take you up on that.
So
All
Doug
right,
just
so how many rooms? Two, three.
I had been getting 2. I was letting we had been doing 1 just because like it's like almost all dudes, and I think it's because
It's true.
Cedar's not with us.
Yeah, without Cedar now.
yeah,
actually,
are we
I
all
think,
dudes?
I think the whole party's male now. Actually,
Oh,
yeah.
Reason
Unless-
to kill Garand. No, it's-
Someone kill someone so that there could be a girl in the party. Yeah, party's all guys right now. So I guess if y'all are doing one room, that would just cost 5 silver for the night.
Let's do
Asuka's
2
going to
rooms.
get.
Sorry, man.
Oh.
Stranger danger.
Asuka's going to do her own
yeah,
room.
that was
going
that was the reason why I was bringing that up. Is that we have been doing one because of
Ah. Well, in that case, Doug or John, y'all can
get your own room
decide.
with the other dude.
It would be 5 silver from one of you, Doug or John, and I think Garan usually pays for the party room. And
I'll
Asuka's
pay for
got.
both. Why not?
He pays for both.
Just because I'm feeling generous and I really want in this party.
Middle-aged man really wants to join all these young adults. Because actually, looking around, John, you realize, unless one of these is like an elf that it looks younger than they are, no, it doesn't look like anyone in this party is older than 22.
Does
Like,
anyone really know how old Thicket is?
no one knows how thick it is except for me. But they all look like early 20s.
I don't remember what I put for Doug, but I think it was 20 something.
You currently don't have anything written on there, so what do you want to put now?
Well, let me look at Doug and then get an age.
Yeah, but they're definitely a youngster party that you're trying to join into.
Why not? He's 22.
22.
22.
Yeah. They all look low 20s. Garand and Doug are both similar height to you. As Garand is 6'1", John is 6'2", Doug is 6'4", and then Gambit is 5'1", I think, the only middling person in the party, because Maverick is down to like 2'8", and Thicket's like 2 feet tall. Yeah, 2 feet 4 inches. So yeah, you're joining the tall part of the group. As y'all go through the night, it would take a good amount of time, a solid 2-3 hours at least, of Asuka walking through the finer details of this spell that you come to understand is technically a weird amalgamation of a few different spells. It's got elements of protection from evil and good, elements of remove curse, and though not many, because the magic is far beyond what y'all can properly add, tiny elements of the dream spell, but in a much more contained way than the dream spell, as dream spell has, I believe, next to no limit on the range. Yeah, the dream spell, the limit is same plane of existence. But this one is very limited in its scope. Functionally, it is a ritual version, or it is a ritual 3rd level spell that I can add to your all's sheets later, but it's more of a narrative spell than it is a regular casting spell. You can take 10 minutes to set it up. It does require a special dream catcher made with spider silk, some gemstones, and fine wood that costs 100 gold pieces. It is not expended during use. She lets you know that nightmares are incredibly difficult to kill, to permanently kill, because when you destroy them in a dream in the nightmare, it tends to exit the body and does not die and will try to escape. And so usually either the person casting the dream has to carefully, or someone outside has to use the dream catcher to catch the Grim and put it within some kind of container, wherein typically it will go from its small worm-like state into this, as she will actually open the container at one point and show y'all, this small like rectangular, not rectangular. It's a weird description, but like almost banana-shaped black seed that she describes to you as basically impenetrable. And so typically, they take jars like the one she has and try to capture nightmares before covering them in cement and burying them. Just contain the Grim for the indefinite future. Preferably beneath a grave, she says, not because the grave is anything special, but because no one checks to dig underneath a grave. And so it's less likely to be found. I can add a special spell, quote-unquote, to y'all sheets if you like. It can only be cast as a ritual. There's no method by which to cast it as a regular spell unless you... Like, I could say maybe narratively, if you were powerful enough, hitting 7th, 8th level spells, you could cast it as an action. But it's more of a narrative spell that takes 10 minutes to cast, it's more ritualized. And so, yeah, as long as y'all end up getting the components at some point, the 100 gold piece fancy Dreamcatcher, y'all should be able to, as long as you can cast a 3rd level spell or higher, through pretty much any innate means. So if there's innate spellcasting like she has, or she also has the ritual feat, or if you can cast 3rd level spells, you can cast this ritual.
Very cool.
I will thank her for her time. If you can put like a note in either party or on my character or something that we have the nightmare ritual or whatever, or anti-nightmare ritual or whatever.
Yeah. I'll come up with a fancy name with it and throw it on y'all's spell sheets later. Probably after the session I'll add them to it, because I didn't quite anticipate y'all asking to learn it, but I really should have, because that's the exact type of thing y'all would do. I should have anticipated that. That is perfectly in line with how the party operates. Is there anything anyone would like to accomplish over the rest? John, are you going to learn the ritual as well, or are you going to let Thicket and Garand, and I assume Doug attempts to learn but doesn't quite understand it on the count of the fact that he doesn't actually know magic in terms of technique in any form?
Yeah, I'd like to learn it.
Okay. So I guess then, Gambit, is there anything you're going to do, as you and Maverick are the only ones who aren't involved?
Gambit
right.
is sleeping.
So at one point, John, you are sitting in the room, which you didn't quite realize it, but there's this wooden automaton looking thing. It almost looks like a small barrel on top of these 2-piece wooden legs. And embedded into the front of the barrel is this red gemstone.
An automaton? Like a robot?
You noticed it had been walking around. It has these 2 wooden arms that seem to have just kind of be waving around on its sides whenever it's moving, but currently just standing completely still in the room.
Can I do like an insight check to figure out more about it?
Yeah, make an Arcana check. As you're kind of leaning in close, trying to kind of figure out what this is, the gem glows slightly. Hey, is this someone could do for you? New guy?
Was that the gem talking?
You realize you heard the voice from the gem. You.
Hi.
I mean, I know I'm pretty incredible, but it's a little rude to look without asking, don't you think?
I mean, I didn't know you were sentient.
Oh.
Apologies.
Actually, that makes sense. I guess I didn't talk. Hi, I'm Claude. Nice to meet you.
Hi, I'm John.
John, good man.
What are
How old
you?
are you? That's a good question.
He's a gemstone, obviously.
That's true. I am in fact a gemstone. I am a incredibly powerful, sentient, magical gemstone. That's a good way to put it. Yes.
He'll catch you.
I can cut you. It's true. Give me a knife. Well, I guess you'd have to give me a knife. I don't have one. But I could cut you if I had a knife.
I see. That's pretty incredible.
Thank you. I am quite impressive. Oh, I'm an old too. Well, I mean, I don't really know how old you are. How old are you? I don't...
My 40s?
Oh. Okay, so you're not nearly as old as me. Alright, never mind then.
How old are you?
400 or 500. Something like that. Been a long time. Been enjoying being out of the box. Out of the cave, if you will. Lots of nice stuff out in this world, honestly. A lot less magic than I expected.
Were you in hibernation or something?
I was locked in a room.
We do
That was
magic all the time, Claude.
This is true, but like... I mean, might not be able to tell, but it's like you can taste it in the air. There's something different. Not as much magic in the world.
I don't
Don't
know what
worry,
magic tastes like.
It's pretty good, actually.
How
You
do
can
you
sort of,
taste anything? You're a gemstone.
That's racist.
How does Claude walk around?
Telekinesis. Well, yeah, I mean, I may
Can
not
do a
be
lot of things.
I may not have taste buds, but I do have the ability to sense things, magic in particular.
Interesting.
As for where I've been, I was a door, and I was a very good door. Up until these yahoos came and got me. I quite like hanging out with them. So don't mess this up for me, alright? Oh, it's fine. I'm sure you'll be great. No one's died yet that I've seen.
I mean, I guess that's encouraging news.
And Garon will say to Erisham.
Who's that?
I'm with us.
What was that? I didn't quite hear you. You cut out for a moment.
For your time with us, dear Claude.
Well, like I said, I've never seen anyone die. In fact, you could even perhaps credit that the survival is owed to me. And my ingenious concoctions. Like the plan with in that's not important.
You made a very good sandcastle.
I do make a good sandcastle. It's true. My architectural design is perhaps even infallible.
Dude definitely has the confidence of a robot.
He does seem to be quite confident in his own abilities, it's true. Though he seemed to have a hard time grasping for any actual accomplishment to give you. But he does seem to be confident.
Doug also notices that he doesn't remember Claude being this outspoken. Like, Claude was more questionable, or like questioning everything prior to today. Now he's pretty much giving bold statements.
Well, he was stuck in a door. He had a lot of questions.
It's true. I've had a lot to learn. The world is different now. Back then, people didn't make endless bottles of milk. They just milked a cow. You'll have cows.
I mean, not currently.
Like, Not at all? There are no cows. Wow. Wonder what happened to all the
Well,
cows.
I mean, there's cows around, but I mean, I thought you were asking if we had any.
Oh, I thought you meant currently, as in the current time period of the world, there are no cows. That makes more sense, that you don't own a... Yeah, that tracks. Well, it's all fine. I'm glad there are still cows. I haven't actually met a cow. What do they look like?
You know, there's just sort of big and fat, and some of them are white, some of them are brown, some of them are black.
Like an ochre.
You could say that, yeah. They're a little prettier than an ogre, though.
That's not a hard statement. Not a hard,
They're,
not a hard thing to beat.
they're really just big puppy dogs that give milk.
Oh, that sounds much more charming than an ogre. Hope I get to meet one someday.
Granted, technically puppy dogs also give milk, so...
Have we just not seen any cows in passing in our entire journey?
Y'all have. Whether or not Claude realized when Cedar went and got milk from a cow, Claude sure seems to have not spotted one. Or at least he hasn't realized if he's seen one.
Don't worry, Claude. Next time we'll point it out that it's a cow.
I appreciate that. Oh, alright, is there anything... Well, I think that's all the time y'all have during your rest, so we'll go ahead and move ahead to the next day, Monday the 8th of May, at 8 a.m.
Thicket would have given Doug some good berries.
Doug, you now have... How many good berries are you giving him? Since y'all
I
are getting
forget.
food at the inn, I don't know if y'all need to eat them for survival, so you could probably have all 10.
Yeah, we'll just give him all 10.
Unless y'all are planning to eat them, but I don't know about y'all, but I would lean on eating actual food over D&D survival supplement.
I would think Doug, if he received all 10, would just give out one to each person just to be safe. Of like, you don't need it now, but just make like maybe it'd be useful before tomorrow ends.
Go ahead and double long rest y'all to make sure all of your HD come back, because those all come back on a long, or all of them come back on a long rest in this campaign. Encouraging heroism and all that. And as we move over to the next day, I think that's where we're going to take a 10-minute break, and then return. Do. And that's not even all the party members that John is going to get to meet. I don't know if he's clocked it, but you would have seen there is a jackal following around Garon.
I guess I probably would have taken note of that.
Yeah, probably. Seems to be quite well behaved. Seems the party has a lot of little adopted friends. That's a Micah point, not even a in-character point. The party adopts a lot of things.
Except we couldn't adopt a catty kobold.
Which kobold? I mean, you have Maverick.
True. But I wouldn't consider him a catty.
That's fair. He's rather well behaved. Let's see. Let's change the music to something more jovial during the break. Not that this isn't a good song, because it's great. Jazz. Also, I don't know if you have. I think it takes Spotify Premium. I'm not sure, John. But you should be able to join the Spotify listening that I have. It should show in the channel status on Discord that I've got Spotify going. If you want to listen to any of the stuff.
The channels. Where would I see that?
In the Discord channel, on the voice chat, the gaming chat, if you hover over gaming, it should show. Oh,
I see.
Yeah, you can actually listen along with me, I believe. I think if you hit the listen along with, it'll actually play it at the same spot as mine. So if I change songs and stuff, it'll keep playing what I'm playing. But if you hit just play on Spotify, it'll just play it for you.
Gotcha. Cool. And I have Spotify Premium anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Nice. Actually, thicket in case you want to listen along, because I know you sometimes do. Today is one of them tired days.
Oh wait, didn't you say there's supposed to be like heart-wrenching things to come in this episode or season?
I don't remember if I said that, but I may have. I may have been talking about Asuka's backstory.
Oh.
Lost child in the woods, pleading for their missing mother, being guarded by a feral version of their sister that attacked the mother, got banished. You know, just regular D&D adventure stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And depending on what y'all do, there are other potential emotional themes. Though y'all also need to lean into it, because I can't play both sides of a conversation. So it's up to how much emotion y'all choose to put into things.
Yeah. I just thought I don't know, I guess I was just imagining like getting back to the house and the family having like an emotional, like, I guess, reconnection with the daughters.
There was potential for that. It doesn't seem to have happened in this case, but there definitely was potential for that to happen. Doesn't look like that's the way the cards played out.
Hey, Micah, how long do these sessions usually go?
They usually go from... Typically, we try to start around 7:30, and it tends to end around 10:30 p.m. CDT or CST. I guess is now CST again, because it's no longer daylight savings time, or maybe it is daylight. I don't remember which one is
It's
DT
standard
and
time
ST.
right now.
Okay, it's standard now. So in this case, so today we have another, I'm going to guess we're probably going to have it up to 30, 45 minutes, potentially an hour if it leans into that and if the story drives it. But if we get into a good ending spot around 30, 45 minutes from now, I'll probably end it there. Yeah, that's the usual time.
Alrighty.
Back if you were waiting on me.
Yeah. I guess in just a moment we'll probably start again. So we know Chris is here. Sam is here. Is Jack here?
Yep.
Cool. Is Jocelyn here?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So now we just gotta see when Maury gets back. We should be good to go. Begin the travel. Because y'all will get to decide whether or not y'all want to take the road, the river, or stay in Delta. Or you could take the land next to the river.
The merchants,
You can keep traveling with the merchants who are heading to Vane and then Vacuo is their plan. Why would you bother taking a cart to Coral or Calcite? And you could just take the ocean.
You know, it's a shame Yori couldn't provide us with teleportation.
Yeah, she can't cast it herself. That's Simeon's thing. He's the wizard, not her.
I mean, I can sort of teleport, but not all that far.
Yeah. Think. How many party members have Misty Step? Do any of you have Misty Step? Gambit can kind of teleport. Doug can kind of teleport. With restrictions on both of them. Thicket. I don't know if Thicket can Misty Step or get Misty Step.
I mean, Thicket kind of helps all of us teleport in a sense.
True. Thicket can Banner of Stars and let y'all teleport. It's true.
Which is great for preventing reactions.
True. And I don't see on Garon's sheet
I am back.
teleportation
Okay.
on Garon's sheet. Yeah,
Sorry.
none of that on him. Looks like it's Gambit, Doug, Thicket are the teleporters, and also John. All all of them can kind of teleport short distances.
It's not technically teleporting. It's closer to hyperspace.
Yeah, I mean, I guess. It's a weird workaround. It's closer to Night Stalker from
uninitiated,
X-Men.
Yeah, to the uninitiated, it could be teleportation.
Yeah. You could play it off as that as a party trick. But now that everyone's back, we can get back into it. Let me change the music off of jazz. And I will throw up the picture of Vacuo. Though I don't know if we'll need it necessarily. It's up to y'all what y'all want to do next. If you want to stay with the merchants, if you want to go a certain way. Asuka would let you know that Delta doesn't have much in terms of horses and stuff to buy. So what will probably happen for them is she will probably walk along the river, is her plan, up to Vane and then taking the path from Vane to Vacuo. It's currently her plan to get back to her home. The merchants that y'all were working with, they were intending to spend Monday selling, seeing if there was any goods to be bought or sold, needs they could meet in Delta because they took a cart, they will, based on the goods they have, rather than renting a ferry from Delta to Vane, they will probably continue along the road because they intend to go from Vane to Vacuo. So rather than selling or sending the cart back and then having to purchase one in Vane, they're just going to take the road. Because there's no waterway from Vane to Vacuo. You can technically get a good 90 miles on a particular part of the river, but not all the way. So what would y'all like to do? Who were y'all going with? Are y'all leaving Monday? Are you leaving with the merchants on land Tuesday? Are you going to go along the river with Yori? Are you going to go along or on the river without Yori? What would y'all like to do?
Friends don't let friends ford the river. Take a ferry.
That sounds like the type of thing that would come out of why can I remember? Splash Mountain in Disney World. Sounds like the type of phrase you'd hear there.
It is from the Star Kid Trail to Oregon.
Well, I wouldn't know. I've seen one Star Kid production. And it was Harry Potter. Yeah. It's up to y'all what you would like to do.
Do we want to keep taking care of the merchants? Is that something we want?
Have they already paid us, or
They were paying us?
or
I thought we were just, like,
oh,
hitchhiking and providing a service for letting us hitchhike.
oh yeah,
Pretty much.
that's true.
Yeah, y'all are
That's
pretty
true.
much providing protection for getting to hitchhike.
It's like, y'all
Safety
getting
numbers
paid?
and all.
Y'all are getting paid?
Are the merchants going to Vacuo?
They are. They are planning to take the road to Vane and then the road to Vacuo. And then they are probably going to make their way back along the same road to Sheer, rather than going all the way from Tuff down to Keenite or Feldspar and then to Sheer. Probably going to head back the same way. That's their plan.
I say let's go with the merchants because
Yeah.
then we don't have to worry about a cart or
Yeah, I don't see
stuff
why
like
not.
that.
Are we
No.
in any rush to get to Vacuo? I forget what we're going to places for.
Well, we were going to Vane for something. But there's like a library in Vane, or is that in Vacuo?
Well, now I'm curious what y'all remember. Why are y'all going to Vane?
Thicket's head is in the snow globe.
Well, Doug's been fixated on, like, I guess, his shattered memory. So, going to Vane in hopes of finding out more about the material and also information on the whereabouts of the other keys for the gate or locked area.
Maury doesn't remember where we were told the libraries were.
You were told the person to talk to about information is Lord Librarian Sasha Hellion of Vane.
Okay, yeah,
Okay.
that's what I thought, but I didn't know 100%.
That's better to say it and potentially be wrong and add to the drama.
Mhm.
Which John has no
Sasha
idea.
is written.
Yep, El Sasha is written
Vane.
pointing to Vane. Don't remember
Yeah.
who wrote that, but
Oh, that was my quick, what's it called? Just a quick note taking.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't
Alright.
know. I don't know anything about the history of this, so I'll just do whatever y'all want to do.
John can ask questions. He doesn't know what the party
Um,
knows, but if he asks the party, they might be able to clue him in.
John, we're gonna test you out, your skills. We're gonna protect these merchants in a couple days, so it'll be a great time to prove yourself
Sounds good.
trustworthy. I 100% believe that you're capable, but I would be a fool, or we would be a fool if we just let you in willy nilly.
I believe that's fair.
So why do you want to travel with us? Like, you don't even know us.
I've heard a little, rumors about you guys' feats.
Wait,
You know, just
we're famous?
I don't know about famous, but I've heard rumors of what you guys have done, just here and there.
What do people say about me?
Usually there aren't names mentioned. It's just, a group of adventurers, kicking some bad guy butt and all. And I heard you guys were in the area, and I figured, hey, why not? Why not ask? It doesn't hurt to ask, right?
As a wise person once told me, you say what you want to say.
I'm not quite sure what that means, but okay.
Me neither, but I'm going with it.
Honestly, I'm confused. At least two members of this party came along rather quickly, in my estimation. And so I assume that the same thing was going to happen again. So I've been trying to.
Well, it did take
keep
y'all
an
a
eye
couple.
and read and.
It did take y'all a couple of
No, it
days
took me.
for you to trust me. Oh, yeah. Yes, that is true.
Doug,
I asked Gambit a lot of questions when he first joined. We had like
That's
a whole
true.
night where I
It's
was just
true.
asking him constant questions.
I think it did do that. I think it did grill me.
Doug leans over to Gron and is like, still questioning Gambit just a little bit.
That's Garon's laugh. That's not just mine. That's his. Well, it's good to know that there's at least a little bit of caution. Listen, we did just do a really, in some, depending on perspective, of a rather a horrific, despicable thing. Some, in the minds of a certain type of person. So, your timing is a little suspect. But you don't really.
What are your intentions with this party?
Well,
you want?
I just want to see more of the world, experience it a bit more. I've kind of been in only a couple places my whole life. I guess
Inside
you could call it, I don't know.
Would this be what I've heard as a midlife crisis.
I guess you could call it that.
You can roll insight if you want, Thicket. I don't know if John wants to roll persuasion or deception or anything. That's up to him. If he wants to roll something into the tower, the little dice thing that should be on the bottom right of your screen, you can throw it in there, and then only I can see it if you'd like. Or you can just decide that Thicket rolled enough to discern your true intentions.
I think more than 20 is probably fine. Yeah, it pretty much midlife crisis.
Yeah, he seems pretty honest. Seems like a dude looking for interesting stuff to happen.
Okay.
There wasn't a fast horse to buy, so I made myself a sword and went looking for adventure.
As he pulls out this rapier properly sized to him.
Remind me where you said you were from again?
I don't think I said where I was from.
Oh.
But I guess you could say I'm from Vacuo.
Hmm.
This music is far too heroic for this conversation. I'm skipping that song.
That is very vague.
That is very vague.
But to be fair,
excited to go?
I am from the forest, so.
To be fair.
It's also worth noting, for vagueness, it's up to y'all whether or not you want to interpret that as I'm from the country of Vacuo or I'm from the capital called Vacuo.
Sorry, the city of Vacuo.
It's like he could be meaning either.
How would you feel if we immediately went back to Vacuo as our adventuring? Because that's our destination.
I mean, I don't have any enemies in Vacuo necessarily. I'm pretty sure everyone that knew me in Vacuo thinks I'm dead, so...
Oh. Well, that'll be exciting. Why do they think you're dead?
I kind of was taken as a prisoner of war. And then never went back.
Gambit was taken prisoner too.
Yeah. Are you also a fellow wanted criminal?
No.
Oh. Gambit's sad.
Does Gambit say Gambit sad?
No, he doesn't. but it's very obvious that he's pouting. Like, he was, like, excited to see, like, oh,
I'm gonna have
like
a
me,
crime buddy.
And then no one's like,
Which also, yeah, John, this guy just said he's a wanted criminal. Take that as you will.
I mean, I wouldn't expect much less from a group of adventurers for at least one of you to have a criminal history.
I mean, let's be clear. I am a wanted criminal for crimes that I did not commit. I've committed other crimes, but not those crimes.
I mean, doesn't every wanted criminal say they didn't commit the crimes they're accused of?
Yeah, but does every wanted criminal admit that they've committed other crimes other than the ones that they've been charged of?
And Garan leans over to Gambit, and you shouldn't really be talking about that at all.
Oh, yeah, probably not. You're probably right.
I mean, I'm not a snitch or anything, but...
We're all criminals. We've stolen the heart of many a lady.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And
Are you wanting to join an adventurer party to commit crimes?
Not strictly speaking, but I mean, depends on the crime.
Inside check.
As Gambit continues to dig himself a hole, Doug just continues to look at Garan and is like, "See."
Says the guy who literally pickpocketed better than me.
Hey, we got to do some shady stuff every once in a while.
I just love that this conversation is happening over breakfast.
Exactly. Listen, I will commit a misdemeanor here or there, but I draw the line at felonies.
You killed him. You
Is there
killed a
such-
political
is there such
leader.
a distinction in this society?
we
Y'all committed a coup.
Regicide, effectively. So
Yeah.
A coup is not a crime if it's successful.
The best part is, it's actually not a crime in general in Vacuo. Because of the way the government works.
Right, but if your
the
coup,
system is wrong.
I mean,
Yeah.
technically, if you fail the coup, it's you're a traitor.
You're a
but-
traitor.
Right,
It is
right,
frowned
right.
upon to fail a
but
coup,
if
yes.
you're successful, then you get to write the rules, and you get to make it that your coup specifically was not bad.
I thought if you failed a coup, you'd be dead.
Probably.
That
Always.
too.
Not necessarily. I mean, you'll probably end up that way because you'll be a traitor.
So back to the question about you committing crimes.
If the situation calls for it, possibly. I won't say yes or no either way. But I ain't gonna snitch if y'all do it.
Suspicious.
How is that suspicious?
It might just be that Thicket is suspicious of you. Not necessarily that you are suspicious, but I don't know. Thicket. I ain't in charge of that.
We may never know what goes on in the mind of Thicket.
Thicket
Not
may not
even
even know.
Thicket.
Not even Thicket knows.
I'm trying to think of more questions to ask.
Doug just kind of thinks
I'm
it's-
gonna cast Calm Emotions on Thicket.
Okay, does that call for a saving throw?
It does actually.
Alright.
Charisma. Oh wait.
Thicket.
On a point you choose. Yeah, every humanoid. Oh, Thicket's not humanoid, is she?
Thicket
He-
is technically humanoid.
Okay.
He's bipedal, so it counts.
It's
So
good
every
enough.
humanoid within a 20-foot radius makes a charisma saving throw.
Well, the entire party needs to make a charisma save.
Nice.
And do they know that you're using calm emotions to chill them out?
I mean, it's a concentration spell. But
Let's see.
do you want me to roll something to see if
Oh
I
my
can?
gosh.
So, which effect are you choosing? Are you choosing to remove the
Hold it
charmed or
tight.
frightened effects? Or are you just choosing to make a target indifferent about creatures that it's hostile toward?
Well, Thicket seems a little hostile towards me. I don't know.
Plus, narratively, the spell can also be used as a chill out.
Yeah.
It doesn't say that they know that the spell is cast, but I mean, you do.
Yeah.
It does have verbal and somatic components. They might become aware. From the looks of it, so far only Doug failed.
That didn't do much. Okay.
Doug's just now like,
Doug
Yeah.
was already cool with me, so
Doug was already indifferent.
that was unhelpful.
Wait, is Doug now cool with Gambit now that his emotions have been calmed?
Was Doug ever not cool with Gambit?
That's true.
I don't know how to
what
spend
did
a
you just
spell.
cast?
Calm emotion. Oh, me?
Yes. Suspicious.
I was just trying to calm the mood a little bit.
Doug's like, the mood is calm.
I don't appreciate being told what to feel.
Doug is just internally thinking of like, maybe I'm getting worse at picking up on social cues.
Why does it not like tick off a spell slot when I cast
So, the way to tick off a spell slot, sometimes it'll automatically tick it off, sometimes it doesn't, I don't know. But if you scroll up to where the spell slots thing is, you can just click on the empty circle and it'll
Okay.
tick it off.
that? Okey doke.
I was waiting until people finish talking to say it.
Well, that did not have the effect I was planning on.
You trying to mind control us?
I was just trying to ease spirits, but I can buy a round of drinks if that's what it takes.
Well, now hold on. Ticket. He apparently felt in some way antagonized. Right? He cast a calm emotion spell, and he cast a spell out of nowhere. This may seem a little familiar.
What was that?
So,
Don't worry about it.
Look, as a general rule, it's not a great idea to go around casting any sort of non-healing spell on someone, even if your intentions are expressly benign. You're taking away a person's right to choose. So, even if you have great reason to do so, unless you truly want to go down that path, to work properly with this group, you can't be doing that. So even though this doesn't necessarily sway me to be more concerned about you, that's rather a inconsequential spell in my estimation. But if you truly are that interested in finding an adventuring party, I'd highly recommend that you don't do that again, or anything really like it. Want to heal someone, cast a cure wounds or something, that's brilliant, go for it. But yes, most people do not appreciate spells, even non-damaging spells, being cast at them.
Doug kind of
I will bear that in mind.
feels as if Garand is getting on to him for what happened last night about the Guardian, and so he just kind of leans over to Garand of like, is that why people were upset yesterday?
Yes, you startled them with what you had done. You're still learning, and I knew that everything was all right, and I had no reason to suspect that anyone would bring harm to you. So I didn't see it would be much of an issue. But you also acknowledged that you wouldn't do it again. So you were very quick to accept rebuke, and that's a very good positive thing in your favor. So, but yes, if you can take the fact that I'm speaking to him directly, and I'm jovially being playful with Thicket, and you can learn from it, then that's just fantastic. That just shows you are doing a great job paying attention. So you should be proud of that.
Doug just kind of smiles and kind of gives he kind of pats himself on the back just a little bit without doing so. It's kind of more of like a look of like, I guess, proud of himself.
All right. Yeah, is there anything I would like to get up to over the course of the Monday before the caravan leaves?
I don't guess this is a enough of a hustle and bustle place to have magic bullets for a
No.
gun. Didn't think so.
This place, it has a general
He just
store.
interrupted you. It was hilarious, though.
Just no. This place has a
No.
general store and an inn, and that is the most fancy it gets. Like taking a quick look
That
around.
general
Well, I
store
guess
actually just sells generals.
I guess the only other unique business you can tell besides just go talk to this guy, he's the smith, buy stuff from him, is there is a ferry service that does go between Vane and Delta. That leaves periodically, and it takes a couple of days to go here and there. So usually, actually, let me check. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It takes about a 10-day to go there and back. Or to go there, and then usually 4 or 5 days to come back because the river's flowing with you. So roughly every 2 weeks, a ferry goes back and forth. The next one that is coming in is the coming Sunday. Occasionally they'll send out other ones, especially if you pay the fishermen enough, they'll just go ahead and take you up special. But a regular ferry, if there's anybody that wants to go, tends to go back and forth, and that's the biggest quote-unquote business here. No magic shops.
You said that the library is here, though, right?
Nope, there is no library in
Nope.
Delta.
I thought
That's
there...
going to be in vain. Our next stop.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought we were already in Vane. My bad.
Nope. Y'all are in Delta, which is the fork in a small town that is in the fork in the river. Is not even big enough to have a lord. It has a mayor, and that's it.
Is there like a morning dart tournament or something Doug could have tried to win some cash in?
No. Actually, in the morning, the inn's pretty sparse. Looks like people came here to hang out the night before, but aren't many visitors in town. Like, it's y'all, the merchants. That's actually it. Everyone else is locals.
Ron is going to try to arrange the deal once again with the innkeep. See if they are also amenable to performance for breakfast and room, and Garon will pay the remainder if not. And
They
he'll still
agree. Make a persuasion check. See how much they do or do not agree to.
Oh, off the 17. What man?
Down to a total of 11. They would say they appreciate the offer, but there's not really a need for it in the town. If you're welcome to play and get tips if you want, but they don't. Well, yeah, they would say you're welcome to play and get tips and you want, but they wouldn't be able to give you the room and board for free.
All right, that's fine. For 2 rooms, because I'll pay since he paid last night. I'll pay tonight. For Doug and for John, and then for the other room. What's the price
go gold and a half for the food and rooms for the day. So 1 gold, 5 silver. All right. Is there any particular things people want to get up to over the Monday? It seems to be a very quiet village. Asuka leaves early in the morning.
Are there
There's fishing.
cows?
There are cows in a nearby farm, yeah.
We teach Claude what cows are.
Gambit is going to go back to the house and help them with his mason tools fix up the damage. Some of the damage.
Make a general charisma check. Claude says, "Oh my lord. So that doesn't look at all like a dog."
He said it's a big dog.
I mean, yes, but dogs don't look like that.
I didn't say it was a dog. I said it was like a dog. It's got the demeanor of a dog. If it was big and fat and had hooves.
It kind
Interesting.
of looks like a dog if you squint.
I can't squint.
I mean, just kind of put your hands over your eyes. And...
He raises the wooden board that is his arm. Can't turn it around the barrel. Yeah, that'll work.
Anatomically speaking, they are very similar to dogs.
Except for the whole 4 stomach thing.
They're full stomachs?
Yeah,
Well-
they're not too great at digesting things, so it has to go in stages. And then they
Weird.
kind of puke it up and chew on it more and then swallow it again.
I'd throw up if I had a mouth or a stomach.
You said there was fishing. Could Garand look into fishing throughout the day?
Yeah, you could probably rent a fishing pole from one of the fishermen. But if you just want to go fishing, you totally could. Gambit, Yugoro would be very hesitant to let you help, but would begrudgingly let you do some of the work. Particularly because you know how to deal with stone, he would let you help him with the chimney.
Nice.
Yeah,
Was
I
that
feel like we
Doug?
need to have like an Animal Crossing day where everybody's like, like setting up their what they want to do.
Yeah, just a nice little Stardew Valley roleplay session at one point.
Then with any other time left over, Gambit would like to look at like the geography and like look for nice rocks.
Like gemstones or just nice rocks?
Nice rocks. Or gemstones if so happens upon.
Make a investigation check.
Okay.
Did
And
you say
Garand, make a. Well, let's see. There's a mixture of actual technique for fishing, which would count as a proficiency bonus, but there's also quite a bit of luck involved. So roll a straight d20 to see how you do at fishing, because you're not proficient.
as Garand goes fishing, Doug is going to tag along, but instead go swimming, and he's going to see if he can find anything metal on like the floor, like of the lake or whatever it is.
River.
Yes.
As you kind of reach out, make an investigation check, I'd say.
Let's use 0 point.
Gambit, there's lots of rubble and there's some gravel. You think you maybe find a cool rock at one point, but then you realize it was just some worn down bark from the stream, or from the creek. Not creek, river. Doug is hero pointing his swimming check. So it takes a few minutes. I mean, over time, you do eventually find you're able to use your magnetism to pull a couple of old rusted tools, the part of an old anchor, and a few other small odds and ends out of the water. Mostly rusted, nothing magical, nothing terribly valuable, but lots of little things. Garand, roll your d20. Let's see if you can fish.
You want me to add my bard chicanery of +1?
Yeah. You've heard about fishing and you've seen people fish, so your jack of all trades will kick in.
Hooray!
You don't get terribly lucky.
That's fine.
You feel a pull at one point, but it doesn't. But it releases after a minute. Unfortunately, no major success. But the guys there seem to like you as you talk and hang out with a couple of the fishermen just sitting on one of the docks. A quiet day. You get the sense this is a very quiet village, that a lot of the people here just want to live normal lives. No adventures, as little grim as possible. They just kind of want to be, you know?
It's giving the Shire.
Right.
It is giving Shire. Alright. I guess you two bards can roll a performance check for that night, assuming John is going to perform with Garand.
Sure, why not?
If he asks to perform, I will say you may go on before or after me. But right now I want to. It's part of like my process.
I won't interrupt them.
Alright, so just Garand make a performance check.
Are there people playing like bar or like tavern games?
There would be a few people that might play cards or dice or something. There's no darts, but there are cards and dice and such.
I'll join in those and hopefully try to win a little something.
And make a... What games are you proficient with?
I mean, darts would be like the obvious choice for the metal component.
So
But
you do have proficiency with a gaming set as a previous soldier, / also kind of still a soldier. What kind of gaming set do you want? Do you want proficiency with darts? Do you want proficiency with cards, chess,
we'll do
dice?
dart. Since darts is kind of
All right, then make a no proficiency based. Since it's dice and such, make an intelligence check. Straight intelligence check.
Oh, well, that's great.
Garand, the people here aren't huge tippers, but you do manage to get 5 silver and 3 copper over the night. Doug, you actually do quite well enjoying the time. You find that most of the bets are small, pretty much just in the coppers, playing for change. Over the course of the night, you end up taking home a pretty solid 19 copper pieces, playing with a few of the fishermen that you'd seen on the dock and that Garand was hanging out with. Pretty relaxed guys. They enjoy, they don't accuse you of cheating or anything, not that you did cheat. But they do play and they enjoy the game. Telling you stories about the fish stories that, as the night goes on, get progressively more and more ridiculous. Whether or not you choose to believe them is up to you. And as we get up to the next day, the party will be leaving at roughly 7, 8 a.m. on Tuesday, the 9th of May in the year 417 post-schism. And I think that unless y'all want to try to do a couple of days of travel, I think that's where we might end the session for the night.
Sounds good, but can I roll for Jackie also?
Yeah, you can have trained Jackie on the Monday. Go ahead and roll an animal handling check. You can pick up some points for her. You also can, if you want to train her in something particular, you have 7 and now 8 points.
Jackie is Garand's jackal.
Jackie's Garand's jackal that knows how to guard, fetch, and track.
Is 8 enough points to start trying to teach her, like, effectively the wolf/direwolf version of trip, so that when she bites, she could attempt to make a trip like a direwolf or a wolf would?
I'd probably say, since that's a very complicated one for attack and trip, let's see, the best way to do that, it would probably end up being a fairly low DC strength check on the person that she could probably use as an action. It probably wouldn't do... Well, I mean, she doesn't do much damage anyway, so it'd probably be an attack roll followed by a strength save on their part. Is that kind of what you're going for?
Sure. I mean, the whole point was that, like, she was following me anyway, and so Garand would be like, well, of course, then I'm going to take care of her. She cares about me for whatever reason, so I'm gonna, I'll bond with her. So yeah, I mean, I'm not looking like you make her as much of a a Pokemon or a Ranger's Beastmaster pet or whatever as you want. You know what I mean?
It's a complicated maneuver. But you could, over the course of probably the next few days of traveling and practicing, spend 5 of the points. Well, actually, no, the points are you teaching her the trick. Spend 5 of the points, bring you down to 3 to teach her effectively a trip attack. To make them make a low DC, probably DC 11 or 12 strength save, or be knocked prone as her action.
Okay. So yeah, I'll like trip him, girl, something like that. Will be kind of like the...
So I think I can share this directly to you. Did that pull up for you?
Yeah, that's awesome.
Cool. Yeah, I've had that little note going. I didn't know if you could see it before.
No, I haven't. I like it a lot, though. All right, so I think what I probably want to do then is, like, with future points, is like start to upgrade those if that's reasonable, if that's possible.
Yeah, sure. Sounds like fun.
Awesome.
I mean, I'm not too much of a hurry, and she's still ultimately going to be a jackal. She's not going to be as powerful as a Beastmaster, definitely not a Pokemon.
Right.
You can do stuff. You can teach her commands.
Awesome.
All right. As the party finally leaves, having let Asuka wander her way down the river, knowing where it'll ultimately get to Vane, so she's not too worried about directions. She's just going to follow the river. The quiet of the town that she grew up in passing behind her. The place she lived but isn't welcome in. The party's new friend, John, the strange, fun, new, older man who has found a strange midlife crisis among a bunch of misfits. The party goes from their peaceful town to wherever they'll be ending up next and whatever may happen along the way. The music got really inspiring there for a second. I don't know why. But, I mean, I guess that's the energy we're ending on today. For XP, I think I'll give you a mixture of Session XP and then the Family Nightmares XP. So I'll give you 2,000 for Family Nightmares and the 4,600 for Session XP, bringing y'all a total of 6,600 XP for the session. Boop, boop. Go ahead and award that. Which, did that award properly to... It did, it's just an actual flat number, so it awarded appropriately to John. Alright, y'all are currently at the closest person, is the Doug and Thicket, because for some reason Garand is still getting the short end of the stick and has 5 XP less than them. Looks like 1,800 XP away from level 7. Y'all are picking up speed faster than maybe I expect. Well, actually, I don't remember when y'all... At least based on when y'all got 6. I don't know, I'm not going to worry about it.
Are we able to see XP anywhere?
On the party sheet, which you can open in the tool section in the top right, you should be able to pull the party sheet up that has a main page that shows everyone. I don't know what all it shows for y'all. For me, it shows y'all's basic stats and stuff, your race, passive perception, AC, that kind of stuff. There's also inventory, which shows party inventory, which typically includes things like if you have a cart or an animal. I don't know if it lets you see each other's inventory. It lets me see all y'all's inventory if I want to. There's also the marching order, as well as, taking watch and how y'all get thrown onto maps. And then there should be an XP thing, which should shows y'all's XP. I don't know what it looks like necessarily on y'all's side.
Would that be a separate tab?
On
like
party sheet,
main
there should be...
inventory, order.
And then there should be XP. Is there XP below order?
No.
No.
Oh, that might be just me then.
And for inventory, it only shows us the party inventory.
No, the magnifying glass. No, go to class level. Go to class and level on your main page, and then click the magnifying glass.
Yeah, that's how you can check your personal XP, is if you have class and level on your personal sheet.
Oh.
But I can look at all of y'all's XP all alongside each other, which is convenient to me.
Oh, okay.
So the closest y'all are sitting at 1,800 XP a piece away from level 7, so that'll be a couple of sessions away. Maybe we're going too fast, maybe we're not. I don't know. Y'all did get similar XP to when y'all killed Liang when y'all fought the Nightmare, so I don't know. I don't remember exactly when y'all leveled up. I think it was when y'all finished with Sheer.
Mm-hmm.
Is that right?
To be fair, we've been doing this for about a year.
It's true. Y'all have been going for about a year, and now you're about to be at level 7, which actually I think tracks with most campaigns. Huh. Maybe it's actually even a little slow. I don't know. I'm not sure. But that'll be the end of the session for tonight, at least on the recording side. Hope you all YouTube have a lovely night. Appreciate you watching, and goodbye.